So this friend of mine is telling me about this game called God Hand. He said it's a totally awesome game, you should check it out, and it's made by the same developers who made Okami. So I thought, yeah, it's probably worth a look, but before I went out and bought it, I had a look at Metacritic and saw that there were generally positive reviews except for IGN, who gave it a 3 out of 10. Thought this was pretty strange, so I looked it up, read the review, seemed pretty legitimate, so I decided to buy it out of curiosity. And now I got the game and I'm playing it right now. What the fuck?
Newsflash, big guy. You can wax on, wax off all you like. I'm still kicking your ass.
So I beat the game, I read the review again, and all I have to say is this is one of the worst reviews IGN has ever done. Let me read you an extract. In my years of working here at IGN, no other game has earned the universal disdain God Hand generated among our editorial staff. Mention God Hand anywhere in the office west of my humble corner, and in return faces scrunch up, tight, and mow. God Hand is an obviously bad game. I know just what to do with this.
Now, it wasn't just the opinions offered in the review that enraged me, it's the validity of the facts. From what I've read, they stated there's no penalty for death. This is incorrect, you lose money at the end of the stage. Of course, IGN wouldn't know this because it's obvious they didn't beat the first stage, since all the screenshots are of it and it only. Other than that, the main attacks in the game were about how difficult it was. Oh, boo-hoo, God forbid you try something challenging for once. Why don't you go back to playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure? This was an awful review, and the user ratings and comments speak for themselves. That's enough about IGN, let's focus on God Hand. The Brawler genre has always been filled with exciting games such as Streets of Rage 2, Double Dragon, and Comic Zone. They're also fairly hard, and God Hand sought to revive these classics with a modern take in a 3D environment. It's such a breath of fresh air, and I'll explain why.
Represent!
Wow, your sexy little friends. They're coming for a dance.
They're still sexier than you are.
God Hand's story is ludicrous, but in the sense that it's funny. You play as Gene, the owner of a powerful God Hand artifact which he uses to go around smashing demons into the pavement. The characters are all unique and excellent, with various references to popular culture thrown in for extra laughs. Apparently, 4 powerful demons are planning to resurrect an ancient demon king, and it's up to you to stop them. It's a highly linear experience fighting through 8 worlds, and highly entertaining, because the diversity in stages is brilliant. On the graphics side of things, I'd have to deduct marks for the environment, but basically only that. The character models are well rendered and really bring across the point Clover was trying to make. Elvis, for example, is a balding, overweight, bodybuilding Mexican who looks just as good as he fights. The animations are so good, there are literally hundreds of them for you, normal enemies, and bosses.
Thank you!
God Hand's gameplay is all you'd expect out of a game, pushing buttons like a freak, making split-second decisions, it's great fun. As you kick the snot out of waves of demons, you never get the sense of tedium because their looks and moves change, and so do yours. With over 100 combat techniques which you can easily adjust using a menu, you can assign them to different buttons and even create a powerful one-button combo. There's even more moves on offer with the fantastic roulette wheel which you can use to annihilate foes quickly. They all contain diverse animations and can be used strategically provided you have the orbs scattered around the world to fuel them. Now, like I said earlier, God Hand is a hard game. I think Halo and Legendary is about the same as God Hand on Easy. Your performance is evaluated by a scaling system which intuitively adjusts the difficulty. So if you're dealing damage, it goes up, and if you're taking it down, it goes. As the levels increase from 1 to 4, you'll notice the foes become faster and hit harder. Fortunately, the easy difficulty caps it at 2. You will also receive less power-ups at higher levels. Here's an example of God Hand on level 4, Die mode. Despite it being hard, it's not impossible. There's resistance given with the God Hand which can be unleashed as you build tension from taking or doing damage. When it's activated, Jean becomes temporarily invincible and attacks fast and hard. If you deal enough damage to an enemy, you will be given the opportunity to use a special skill on them, rapidly smashing circle to finish them faster. You can buy power-ups from shops and acquire new moves from both shops and civilians that you save. The combination of these assists and makes combat easier and more fun. I strongly believe the better that you are at this game, the more you'll like it, just like anything. God Hand has so many bosses to defeat, it's incredible. If I'm not mistaken, there are 23 of them in total. All of them have different moves to master, however, you only have to burn them down, no strategy required. I like doing this because dishing out blows instead of throwing magical spears is far more satisfying. The music for every stage is very appropriate and so very nice. The Elvis theme, which is a parody of the king himself, is probably my favourite. Even after you've beaten the main storyline, you can watch the hilarious credits with one of those songs that any person that has finished Portal will also enjoy. There's still more to do when you're finished, including the 50 ring challenges with certain conditions for fights, and beating them all unlocks the epic Jean vs Jean fight. You could try the Kick Me Sign challenge too, where you can't use the God Hand or roulette powers throughout play. Finally, there's a casino where you can earn some quick cash and the ability to change your costume.
You just don't understand women. There can never be two queens. Looks like this dog can be trained after all.
The only bitch that needs training is you.
I've got a killer hand! I've got a killer hand! You're gonna get it! You're gonna get it!
God Hand was one of the best games I played in many years. All of the retro game aspects were awesome, and the cultural references are intense. If you've just come back from a grueling day of work, nothing is better than smashing demons into a wall and pretending it's your co-workers. Although casuals may be turned off by this, hardcore gamers will probably be playing this for many, many months. God Hand is still in stores and it's only $10. So what are you sitting here for? Go and buy it. Get your PS2 out of the box and play it again. Now if you'll excuse me, Azelle and I have a rematch lined up.